This is not a battle you see, but one you feel every day. It happens in silence, behind your thoughts and decisions. It is the war between who you truly are and who you think you must be. Most people never realize it's happening, yet it shapes their entire life. Every hesitation, every overreaction, every fear has a source. And today, we expose that silent war you've been living inside. Your true self does not speak loudly or demand attention. It does not argue, defend, or prove anything to the world. It exists as presence, clarity, and quiet knowing. The ego, however, survives by noise, identity, and control. One seeks truth, the other seeks survival, and the tension between them never truly sleeps. From childhood, you were taught who to become, not how to be. You learned roles before you learned awareness. Approval became more important than authenticity. The ego was born as protection, not as an enemy. But what once protected you now confines you. This is where the inner war begins. The ego is not evil, it is insecure. It fears irrelevance, exposure, and loss of control. It creates stories to maintain its sense of importance. Your true self does not fear being unseen. It does not require validation to exist. That difference is the source of conflict. Every time you feel defensive, the ego is speaking. Every time you feel peaceful without reason, the true self is present. One reacts instantly, the other observes patiently. The ego thrives on comparison and separation. The true self recognizes connection and wholeness. Both cannot lead at the same time. The ego wants certainty in an uncertain world. It clings to beliefs, labels, and identities. It says, "This is who I am," and refuses to evolve. Your true self is fluid, adaptable, and free. It does not resist change, it moves with it. That freedom terrifies the ego. Notice how the ego speaks in urgency. It demands immediate reaction and emotional response. It pulls you into regret of the past or fear of the future. Your true self exists only in the present. It does not rush because it is already whole. Presence is its natural state. The ego survives through identification with thought. It says, "I am my thoughts, my emotions, my history." Your true self watches thoughts arise and pass. It does not claim them as identity. This difference changes everything once seen. Awareness is the turning point of the war. When you begin to observe your thoughts, the ego feels threatened. It loses dominance the moment it is seen clearly. That is why awareness often feels uncomfortable. The ego calls it confusion, emptiness, or fear. But discomfort is not danger, it is transition. Growth always feels like loss before it feels like freedom. The silent war intensifies when you stop reacting automatically. The ego panics when it no longer controls your responses. It will attempt to pull you back into old patterns. It uses guilt, shame, and justification as weapons. Your true self responds with stillness, not force. Silence is its greatest strength. You may notice loneliness during this phase. Not because you are disconnected, but because illusions are falling. The ego thrived on external validation and belonging. Your true self finds belonging within awareness itself. This shift can feel isolating at first, but it is the beginning of inner sovereignty. The ego wants to be right. The true self wants clarity. The ego argues. The true self understands. The ego divides the world into me versus them. The true self sees beyond division. One creates conflict. The other dissolves it. This is the heart of the silent war. Every emotional trigger reveals which side is leading. Reaction is the ego's language. Response is the true self's expression. One happens unconsciously, the other consciously. Awareness gives you the power to choose, and choice is where freedom begins. At this point in the video, pause and reflect. Ask yourself honestly, which voice dominates your daily life? Is it fear-driven, defensive, and reactive? Or calm, observant and grounded in presence? Share in the comments what you feel this inner war shows you about yourself. Your reflections shape future Limitless Shift episodes. The ego does not want to be eliminated. It wants to remain in control. But the goal is not destruction. It is integration. The true self does not fight the ego violently. It outgrows it through awareness. Light dissolves darkness without struggle. The ego survives by being believed. The true self survives by being realized. One depends on external conditions. The other is independent of circumstance. This realization changes how you move through life. Peace becomes internal, not negotiated. When awareness deepens, the ego loses authority. It may still speak, but it no longer commands. Thoughts arise, but they no longer possess you. You witness emotions without drowning in them. This is not detachment. It is mastery. Freedom does not mean numbness. It means clarity. The silent war softens as understanding grows. Resistance turns into observation. Judgment turns into curiosity. The ego is seen as a pattern, not an identity. The true self emerges as spacious presence. This is the beginning of inner alignment. Life becomes less reactive and more intentional. You stop fighting reality as it is. Acceptance replaces inner conflict. The ego no longer dictates your worth. Your value becomes intrinsic, not earned. This is a profound shift in being. You begin to respond instead of react. You listen more deeply, including to yourself. Silence becomes comfortable, not threatening. You feel grounded even in uncertainty. The ego weakens where presence strengthens. This balance is not forced. It unfolds naturally. The world may not understand your change. The ego fears being misunderstood. The true self does not require explanation. You move with integrity, not approval. Inner peace becomes more valuable than validation. This is quiet confidence, not arrogance. Moments of clarity come in waves. Some days the ego resurfaces strongly. Other days, awareness feels effortless. This fluctuation is part of integration. Growth is not linear, it is cyclical. Compassion for yourself accelerates the process. The silent war ends not with victory, but with transcendence. The ego is no longer the ruler, it becomes a tool. The true self leads with awareness and restraint. Life feels lighter, even when challenges arise. Inner conflict reduces as acceptance grows. This is inner peace rooted in truth. Notice how stillness now carries wisdom. You no longer chase meaning, it reveals itself. Presence becomes your anchor. The ego's urgency fades into the background. You trust the unfolding of life. This trust is not belief, it is experience. You realize the war was never external. It was always within perception itself. Once awareness is established, conflict dissolves. The mind becomes a servant, not a master. You inhabit your life more fully. This is conscious living. The true self does not dominate, it harmonizes. It allows the ego to exist without control. This balance creates inner stability. You act from clarity, not fear. This is self-mastery, not self-denial. Power becomes quiet and grounded. When challenges arise, you meet them differently. You observe emotions without suppression. You act without self-betrayal. The ego no longer hijacks your peace. Awareness stands firm in the present. This is the end of inner warfare. Life becomes less about becoming and more about being. You stop chasing identities and roles. You experience yourself beyond labels. The ego loosens its grip naturally. Freedom feels subtle yet profound. This is the quiet reward of awareness. Your relationships transform as well. You listen without defending. You speak without needing to dominate. The ego's need for control diminishes. Connection deepens through presence. Authenticity replaces performance. You begin to trust silence as guidance. You no longer fear emptiness. Stillness becomes a source of insight. The ego cannot survive where awareness lives. This is not loss. It is liberation. You are finally home within yourself. Remember, the ego never truly disappears, but it no longer defines you. You see it clearly and respond consciously. This awareness is irreversible. Once seen, truth cannot be unseen. This is the power of realization. Your life may appear the same externally, but internally, everything has shifted. You are no longer at war with yourself. Inner alignment replaces resistance. Peace becomes your natural state. This is the real transformation. The silent war ends the moment awareness begins. Not with force, but with understanding. Not with effort, but with presence. The true self does not conquer, it reveals. And what it reveals is freedom. Freedom rooted in clarity, not illusion. The intention of this message is not to fight the ego. It is to recognize what has been unconsciously leading you. Awareness is the turning key. In the comments, share what aspect of the ego you struggle with most. Your insight may awaken someone else. This space exists for shared clarity and growth. The silent war was never meant to be won. It was meant to be seen. And the moment you truly see it, it ends. As awareness stabilizes, you begin to notice subtle shifts in daily life. Small moments no longer trigger large reactions. You pause before speaking, before judging, before acting. This pause is not hesitation. It is intelligence. The ego rushes. The true self waits. In that waiting, wisdom quietly emerges. You also realize that suffering was never punishment. It was feedback from unconscious living. Each painful cycle was an invitation to wake up. The ego resisted the lesson. The true self absorbed it. Now pain loses its grip. Understanding replaces struggle. With time, you stop needing constant reassurance. External approval fades in importance. Your sense of worth stabilizes internally. The ego once demanded recognition. The true self rests in self-acceptance. This is emotional independence. You begin to move through the world with quiet authority. Not dominance, not control, but presence. Your energy speaks before your words do. People feel your calm without explanation. The ego used to seek attention. The true self naturally attracts alignment. So remember this as you move forward in your life. The silent war ends the moment you stop identifying with the noise. Awareness does not fight. It illuminates. And what is illuminated can no longer rule you. You were never broken, lost, or divided. You were only waiting to see who you truly are.